happened to Joker? Why people stop playing him? I'm sure it's gonna be a good video.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is known for a lot of things in the gaming community, but one that has always confounded me was the disconnect between a character's viability and their popularity. In competitive titles, the majority of players vying for the top are drawn to whichever choices net the most results with the least amount of effort required.
I like how the clip he showed had absolutely nothing to do with the
Generally
character.
Speaking, strong
Just got player
characters or
diff.
those with a very high skill ceiling are more popular for their pragmatic incentives, while weaker ones are neglected due to their poor effectiveness. Ultimate's first legitimate DLC character since Piranha Plant was free for early purchases of the game.
That's because he was the first
While
DLC and he was
top
that
5 by
broken.
pro and amateurs alike, perhaps even top 3. Following the worldwide suspension of in-person tournaments though, his presence has gradually diminished, lost a lot of front page exposure compared to back in 2019.
Sick back ears, dude.
Let's find out
Talent.
what happened to Joker and why people have stopped playing him.
Real quick, I think why people don't play Joker, like, at any level, first of all, at the low to mid level, is because he's actually hard to play. And at the top level, honestly, the same rings true. He's still pretty hard to play. You have to, like, have a lot of experience if you want to play Joker. Like, just really good awareness, good combos, good execution all around. He's actually pretty hard to play. Like, you can camp really hard, but, like, it's hard to, like, remain consistent and, like, camp. I don't know. You still have to mix it up.
And everyone was excited to see what kind of moveset he would
Arsene.
have in light of the vast array of attacks in his game of origin, with many of his attacks
ESAM
possessing sufficient enough range to almost qualify as fully disjointed moves. It's rare to find rushdown characters that also have good effective range, since with the exception of Roy and Mithra, the bigger your hitboxes are, the slower your movement or attack speed will be, as evident by Sephiroth.
With the exception of Roy and Mithra, two broken characters.
Really have any useless attacks.
If you want to have clean gameplay like Mars, all you gotta do is simply click subscribe to the channel today.
His normals on the ground and the air are both spectacular, and his unique arsenal of special attacks allows him to deal with a lot of scenarios and matchups by virtue of its sheer versatility. On top of
I didn't
that,
know they
his
played
throws
here.
can very easily
Oh wait, no,
lead
I did
into
know
low
that.
and mid percentage combos.
He hasn't talked about why people don't play the character yet.
In an effort to
This
keep
character's
things
broken.
balanced, it would be pretty incongruous for someone with the mobility of Fox or Captain Falcon to blast you off the face of the map with 5 hits the way Ganondorf or Bowser can. And though combo-heavy rushdown fighters do have hard hitters, they tend to only be usable through setups or reads.
I think.
Do you ever see them throwing
I mean, I've
slash
talked about
attacks
this
in
earlier, where
neutral,
like a lot of the
especially when you
game
take into account most of them
it's
have
just
a
made a lot
weight,
easier if
thus
you
leaving
play
them wide open for a heavy
like one of the
punish
dumb
in return.
characters. When I
That's
like
how
that, yeah.
Smash has been ever since its conception. The faster you were, the more effort you had to put into closing out stocks. At least, that was until Joker
Like, you
came
could play
out.
Steve
It's
and
true
up
that
tilt
he
around
boosted
and
the
build
power
blocks.
speed rule on
Or you
its
can do
own,
this.
but with this persona in play, that all changes. Sweet spot
Hate getting
of forward
mansplayed,
smashes.
dude. So
Essentially,
condescending.
Joker can temporarily grant all of his attacks significantly more pressure, addressing the single most challenging obstacle that plagues all rushdown combo fighters. It's almost like Mithra's attacks temporarily gaining Pyre's damage, knockback, and range.
It's a good
While his
comparison.
opponents can accelerate the depletion of Joker's
Half
rebel
half pirate
one
inside
successful
Mithra.
neutral exchange is all it takes for him to close out your stock. When the Wi-Fi meta took over during 2020 and 2021,
Whoa.
it highlighted just
Where's
how
ZSS in the
disorienting
Wi-Fi
an
meta,
extra
dude? I
5
didn't see her there at
took
all.
over
Oh, nope, that's wrong. Yeah, no, bad tier list. Never mind.
2021. It highlighted just how disorienting an extra 5 to 8 frames or so of input delay would cause for players. For example,
Goddamn.
he has a kill setup similar to Sheik's range drop that involves landing only the first hit of fair, which has a fixed launch distance, followed by an immediately fast-falling short hop up air into either
kinda
up smash
crazy.
or down smash. This is its primary way to close out stocks without Arsene, but the timing is
Dude,
very
Joker, I
skillful,
forget they
helping more
nerfed
so than
Joker.
range drop, so it's next to
I mean, he's
impossible
still
to
really
perform this
good.
consistently online.
He's a little more
One would
balanced,
think
a
that
little more
moves with
honest, we'll
faster frame
say.
data have an advantage online since it's more likely for your attacks to come out faster than that of slower hits. You need to get way more hits in over the course of a match, and that means more instances where you can mess up. During the
I gotta
Wi-Fi
stop
era,
playing
the
characters that
archetypes
take
had
effort,
a
you know what I mean?
significant advantage were sword fighters, zoners, and mashers. Joker is none of those. Tournaments
Pick
came
up
back.
Palu?
Also,
Nah, dude.
on the
Even
subject
Palu's
of
too
violence,
honest
a
for
lot of
me.
people
That
still
character's
believe
broken,
the
but
narrative that Joker is an
I can play
objectively
Kazuya,
better pick for
Steve,
Leo and can earn
Roy,
better
just kill
results in
people in
the
like
long
5
term.
hits and call it a
That's
day.
not necessarily true. In Smash 64, Pikachu was light years better than Luigi or Link. In Melee, Kirby and Bowser would
Like how
stand
that
no
Smash
chance against
64
Fox or
player's
Marth,
name
not
was
even
Wario.
close. And Brawl, well, do I even need to explain? Not entirely inconceivable for a high or even mid-tier fighter to go toe-to-toe with the best of the best. In fact, it happens very often. The difference is negligible enough to where skill can make up the difference, thus leaving character selection up to whatever the player feels most in
They
tune
said
with.
skill makes the
MkLeo
difference?
is
That's
a
not true.
distance fighter at
It's
heart,
player pick,
always
baby.
has been. He played Marth
Character
and
pick,
Pod
my
in
bad.
most of Smash 4. In Brawl, he played Meta Knight and Snake. During the early days of Ultimate, he experimented with Lucina and Ike as well. The guy was always a swordy, so it makes perfect sense for him to stick to Byleth, who isn't as fully capable as Joker, but good enough to where Leo can close the gap through sheer aptitude. That brings us to the first major contributor
I don't even think
behind
Leo's that
people
good.
dropping him. Joker is not a character you can autopilot. There's nothing in his kit that you can default to in the neutral, or
That's
heck,
not true.
any
Nair's
situation
broken.
for that matter. You have to alternate between a myriad of different playstyles.
He's kind of making the same point I did at the beginning right now.
Against and what kind of playstyle they have. Joker does have Nair in a few things, but all in all, he's very exhausting to play. It may sound silly, but Smash Bros is inherently mentally strenuous. High skill characters run the risk of being unrealistically difficult to perform at a high level consistently for long periods of time.
Notice how it's never me losing in these clips?
Out of each round of our sun, causing many
Interesting, ain't
inexperienced
it?
Joker players to lose all sense of caution and recklessly approach their opponent. Conversely, though, he doesn't have the luxury to play defensively either, and without Rebel's Guard, he rarely gets
You need
a
to have
second
Schmicks,
persona
that's what
in
he's
the same
basically
stock.
saying.
I'm not implying that he's completely useless without Arsene, but Joker is balanced around Arsene. Additionally, Arsene doesn't give you any passive statistical advantage over your opponent, meaning, if you were playing badly before, you'll be playing badly after. It is considered a comeback mechanic, but the onus falls on the
Nairo's
player
head
to
bobs.
execute on
He's
it.
gaming.
If we're splitting hairs, every comeback mechanic requires you to use it well. But there
That's
are
why you
two
need to be good with
differences
base
that make
Joker.
the others a little bit more consistent. Cloud's Limit, Terry's Go Button, and Kazuya's Rage are all specials with
I feel like he's just
extraordinary
been
kill
saying
power.
like he hasn't made a
Good Whip
point yet.
punishes lights out for the opposing player. Arsene's power spike is evenly distributed across.
Like,
Joker's
this is his
entire
first
kit,
point is what I'm
and
saying,
while
is
those
that
moves grow in strength
Arsene's kinda,
considerably,
like,
none of them have
stupid.
enough of a punch in one blow. The long and short of it is, Joker's a character with very high highs and very low lows. Pro players would rather main someone
Let's
with a
go!
smaller range of pressure because that makes them consistent. I remember, there were times back in Leo's Joker days where he would finesse the crap out of his opponent, breaking them to pieces, but there were also moments where he seemed completely lost and couldn't figure out a way in. On Byleth, however, he may not be making top players look like
Look at me
scrubs as
gaming.
often, but he also
Every time he
doesn't
talks
get
about Joker
overwhelmed
losing, I'm
anymore
there,
either,
baby.
which is why I think he prefers
Character
Byleth
development.
much more. Not just him, but everyone else.
Alright, so like kind of the same exact points that I was making. I didn't even think about, he did bring up a good point that I didn't even think about, is that Arsene is like kind of weak compared to the other DLC comeback mechanics, which is true. He said it best, where like Joker can be at like 150 when he has Arsene. You can just pretty easily lose that. Whereas like, you know, once you get hit by Kazuya who has like Rage Drive, it's probably over. You probably lost that stock at least. You know, Arsene's pretty underwhelming in that way. Gaining Arsene in disadvantage, then immediately losing it due to being a disadvantage is a huge factor. Yeah, that sucks. Rebel's Guard is good in my opinion, but I feel like the only like fix for that is to like make Arsene come quicker while he's not interacting, but then it wouldn't be a comeback mechanic and it would be broken if it showed up faster. I mean, people still think that Joker's like extremely good. It's just really hard to play him. It's, you know, like peak Joker is going to be better than basically all of the cast, but realistically, can you play Joker at that peak for an entire tournament? Leo did it. You know, does he deserve to get put up there if that's like the requirement? You know, like I hypothetically like peak Steve is probably the best character in the game. Unpunishable, everything. Peak Kazuya kills you in one touch, but does he deserve to be put at number one? And like the demand for peak is a lot higher for Joker, which is why people aren't playing him. He's a lot harder of a character, is what I'm saying. So why am I playing two hard characters? Don't know. Wish I wasn't.